Happy morning, friends. Thank you for joining and inviting me to have some thoughts on searching unlimited within limits, within limitedness. Thank you for inviting me. So, I want to begin with a question, and I want you to actually sit with it for a moment before I say something else. What is the one thing in your life right now that feels too small, too little time, too little money, too little energy, too little recognition? What is that thing? Hold this thought within. We will come back to it. Because today I want to talk about something we all been trained to see as the enemy, and that enemy is limits. We live in a culture that worships the limitless. Limitless growth, limitless bandwidths, limitless ambition. If you go to a motivational speaker, he will say, grow limitless. You have a limited scope. Every motivational poster, every leadership book, motivational book, or every LinkedIn or Insta post tell us, break your limits, defy your limits. There are no limits. There are no limits. And yet, here is the paradox. I want to spend the next few minutes inside of with you. Nothing meaningful in human life has ever been built without a limit. Right? A song is not music without silence between the notes. Think about it. A photograph is not an image without the age of the frame. A river is not powerful because it has no banks. Right? And you don't get a more powerful river. You get a flood. You get waste. You get devastation. So today's talk is not about defying limits. It is about something more useful, more honest, and frankly more freeing. The architecture of enough. We should not think or set limits in any work, and simultaneously we should not think that we should grow unlimited way. Instead of doing all these things, we should design our life, our ways, as an architect designs a beautiful home. In similar way, today after listening this, I hope you all will be the architect of contentment. You will say, I have enough. I am enough. So let's begin the movement one. The first thing is why we fear limits. We are afraid of limits because we have confused them with failure. Okay? If I have limited time, I feel behind. If I have limited energy, I feel weak. If I have limited resources, I feel poor. If I have limited attention, I feel scattered. Somewhere along the way, we started measuring our worth by how limitless we appeared. Busy calendars, full inboxes of emails, packed schedules, as if exhaustion were evidence of importance. But ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you saw someone burn out from having too much peace, too much focus, too much depth in one relationship, one skill, or one purpose? So many people come to me and they complain about the burnouts. Burnout is not a limits problem. Burnout is a limitlessness problem. Are you getting? It is what happens when a human being tries to operate like a system with no walls, no edges, no architecture. And architecture, remember, is not a constraint on a building. Architecture is what makes a building stand beautiful, comfortable, according to my own life, according to my needs. Right? It is the rule of architecture. So we must not have fears of limits. Then the second thing is that limits as architecture, not as walls. Let's take the metaphor seriously for a moment, because I think it will change how you see your own life. Does an architect see a wall as limitation in a room? The wall is what creates the room. Without the wall, there is no room. There is only undefined, undifferentiated space. The wall does not reduce the possibility of the room. It is the very thing that makes the room possible. Apply this to your life. First thing, remember, all of you must remember this. The limit of time is not your enemy. If there are 24 hours, you cannot do anything. You cannot say, I may have 25 hours or I must have 30 hours in a day. No. So the limit of time is not your enemy. It is what makes a single conversation with your child undistracted for 20 minutes more valuable than 8 hours of half-present multitasking or half-present presence of mind. If you go to watch a film, before booking your seat, you see what is the duration of that film. If you are going to attend the program, so many people ask me, sir, your talk will be for how much time? I say it will be around 20 minutes or 35 minutes. So the limit of time is not your enemy. It actually helps to manage the things. The second thing is the limit of energy. The limit of energy is not weakness. It is what forces you to choose where your best self actually goes, instead of leaking it everywhere in small, invisible amounts. Third thing is the limit of focus is not narrowness. Fourth thing is the limit of money, the limit of resources, of not enough is often the very pressure that produces the most original thinking, because abundance rarely innovates, scarcity does. This is the architecture of enough, not the architecture of more, not the architecture of less, but the architecture of right size. हम कहते हैं ना, मुझे 2000 फीट स्क्वायर फीट के मकान मेरे लिए ठीक है, मैं उसको इतना संभाल पाऊंगा. I will manage everything without stress, right? So limits are not bad. If you have limited money, you can live more beautifully, more joyfully. Let's take the last moment 3, the cost of limitless living. I want to direct you with here, because this is where the talks gets practical. I am now talking about the practical aspect of it. Organizations love to celebrate people who seem limitless. The ones who answers emails in the midnight, who never say no, right? Who take on every project. मैं कर लूँगा, मैं देख लूँगा. But look closely at most limitless people after few years, and you will find one of the two things: either they have quietly built invisible boundaries no one talks about, or they have broken. And when they have broken, such people come to me at Chetana and say, now what? My dear friends, there is no other option. Human beings are not limitless. We are finite. Finite attention, finite years, finite emotional capacity. The question was never whether you have limits. The question is whether you design them or whether life designs them for you. Usually through a health scare, a broken relationship, or a breakdown. A life without designed limits is not a free life, it is an undependent life. So the Fourth movement, designing your own enough. So how do we actually build this architecture? The first thing is replace more with right. Stop asking how do I do more. Start asking how much is actually right for this season of my life. Start asking this. Right-sized ambitions, right-sized commitments. Don't be a victim of unhealthy ambitions, unhealthy promises, commitments, expectations. Have right-sized expectations of your own self. This single shift in language changes how an entire organization and an entire life breathes. आजादी अनंत को पाने में नहीं है सांसारिक तौर पर। आजादी अपने मन को लिमिटेडनेस से बाहर लाकर अनलिमिटेडनेस में ले जाने में। Treat enough as a destination, not a deficiency. Enough is not the consolation prize for those who could not get more. Enough is a place you arrive at on purpose. It is the architect blueprint decided before the building begins. Not a compromise made after the budget runs out. So let's go back to the question I opened with. What feels too small in your life right now? I want to offer you a different question to carry home instead. What would it look like if that very limit were not your deficiency but your design? The sky is not less beautiful. The sky is not less beautiful because it ends at the horizon. The day is not less meaningful because it ends at night. A life is not less full because it has edges. Enough is not where ambition stops. Enough is where architecture begins. So we must build accordingly. Now the one thing which lastly I am concluding now, the one thing which I told you, why we search unlimitedness in limited life. You see, on this planet, on this earth, we are the only creature in the world. One of the creatures in the world. Those possess mind. We are given, not other creatures. That mind inside us remembers being infinite before we became limited. And God also wanted, He gave us the mind to make it an open sky in unlimited way, to feel that freedom, feel that joy. But what we have done one thing only. We made our mind to search the unlimited worldly materials and not that unlimitedness of the sky. You see, the body has an expiry date. The mind has a ceiling. The day has only 24 hours. Yet we keep reaching for things that have no age. Unconditional love, eternal meaning, boundless joy, the infinite itself. That egg is not a malfunction, right? It's a clue. We search for the unlimited inside a limited life because some deeper part of us, call it soul, consciousness, mind or spirit, that part of us was never actually bound by the limits of the body and the time imposed. God has given us a limited number of breaths, right? A day has limit. It will convert into night. A month have 30 or 31 days. A year have limited 365 days. So the limited form is asking, the unlimited essence is what actually searching. So the paradox is not a contradiction to solve. It is the whole human condition in one line. In one line. That is, we are infinite beings learning to live meaningfully inside finite container or vehicle, that is our body. The mistake is trying to make the container infinite, which only produces exhaustion, stress, as I earlier told you. So the wisdom is realizing the searching itself for truth, for love, for joy, for wisdom, these things. Living a finite life and searching love, joy, compassion, truth in an infinite way is known as meaningful life. If you are only living life to satisfy your wants, your body's wants, then you are not enjoying this life. You are not enjoying the life, you are not enjoying the living process. So, this could actually become a strong closing reframe for this talk, tying architecture of enough not just to discipline but to this deeper truth. Which truth? We don't need a limitless life because something within us already is. Within us is unlimited consciousness. We have to grow that consciousness, that mindedness, so that if we are facing troubles, we are facing problems, we are suffering, we must have our mind so expand in unlimited way that we can easily deal with all those sufferings coming on us. As you know, the sky is unlimited. There flows cold air, hot air, rain, everything happens, but nothing affects the sky. So we have to create, we have to architect our life in such a way so that it can become a source of manifesting the joy from within us. There is one question, and he has written in Hindi. So I am happy that you people also have some Hindi watchers also, right? That's a good thing. तो आपने जो पूछा है उसका मैं बता देता हूँ कि देखिए, लाइफ में आपके पास में जीवन सीमित है, टाइम सीमित है, श्वास सीमित है ना? परिवार का स्ट्रक्चर है वो भी सीमित है, सब कुछ तो सीमित है ना, लिमिटेड है। तो फिर अपने जीवन के समय को हम असीमितता को पाने में क्यों खर्च करें, क्यों व्यर्थ जाने दें? संसार की असीमितता की दौड़ नहीं चाहिए हमें। शरीर की एक्सपेक्टेशन, शरीर की जो सेंसेस हैं, इंद्रियां हैं, उनकी अनलिमिटेडनेस हमें नहीं चाहिए। हमें माइंड की अनलिमिटेडनेस चाहिए, ताकि हम एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत और स्माइलिंग फेस दुनिया में बन सकें, जिस पर न ज़्यादा खुशी आने का बहुत असर हो, न ज़्यादा दुख आने का असर हो। That person will live his or her life above the sadness and above the happiness levels. And that is life. When you live above the levels of sadness and happiness, sukh and dukh, that is blissful life. So thank you. I have taken 3 minutes above my scheduled time. So I am thankful to you. And simultaneously I made it live on Instagram. So I also pay gratitude to the watchers there. Thank you very much.